Liquid IV is just so good.
It's all right.
I mean, yeah. Welcome back.
Welcome back
to the Lousy Show.
To the Lousy Show.
Yep. I drink a lot of these.
Yep.
I do. Yeah. Typically, well, I shouldn't say a lot. I drink one in the morning or one in the evening.
It's more than I drink.
Yeah. I do drink a significant amount of water, but I like to flush out my system.
Yeah.
A lot more. Yeah.
I usually just do just two to three of these full of water.
Yeah.
Without anything extra. And then I have the seltzer waters now to replace my sodas.
That's fair.
And it's been pretty good. I do have a soda every now and then. But.
I still don't know how you drink seltzer water. That stuff just tastes like fucking TV static to me.
So it's not Dr. Pepper. No way to shake that. It's just not. But it has the refreshing carbonated liquid part of it. So after a few weeks of suffering, I've Stockholm syndromed myself into liking it. Is the best way I can describe it. It doesn't taste too bad.
I really wish I didn't close out the meme I just read to you before we started recording. Yeah. But that would have been perfect here.
That is very accurate.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, while Sam, exhibits his unfortunate new love.
It's full.
For seltzer water.
I don't think you can see it, but they can.
That's fair. I'll tell you what you can love. That's a good ad read.
Yep.
You already know what it's about. We're partnered with Into the AM proudly. Every single time y'all see us on this beautiful channel, always rocking Into the AM gear, whether it's shirts, basic tees, graphic tees, hats, jackets, hoodies, the whole nine. We're always rocking it. We love it because it's top tier quality, and we know you would love it as well. And where can you go to get it? Well, Sam, tell them where they can go to get it.
Well, if you go to intotheam.com/lousy, you can go and get it. And they have all the things that he mentioned, plus probably way more, because they have a lot of stuff, and it all looks really good, all feels really good, and it doesn't have to break the bank, especially when you use our code LOUSY at checkout. You get an extra 10% off on whatever sale they're running. So make sure, like I said, intotheam.com/lousy and use our code LOUSY at checkout.
Yes. As a matter of fact, they are right now running a basic tee collection sale. You can go there right and get up to 60% off with our 10% off on top of that as well. So make sure to go get that right meow.
Yeah.
Again, link in the description and in the pinned comment, intotheam.com/lousy. Enjoy your brand new clothing. We sure do. Now, does that at least help your heart's desire to meet the Dr. Pepper need?
No.
I legitimately watched you go through what I could only assume was all the stages of grief in front of me
simultaneously. Yeah. Yeah. It started off with the denial where I was about to say something different, and then it was the acceptance.
It was usually that slope looks like this. For Sam, it was
I just like jumping off cliffs.
Hey, look, whatever gets your rocks off, man. Your adrenaline rush, heart pumping.
No.
Quite like a can of Dr. Pepper.
I miss it so much.
Hey, look, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for ditching it. It's a good health choice.
I just, I get more intimate with it.
Are you lighting candles in your bedroom? Dude, please.
All right, you can just barely see it.
I barely see it. Yeah.
There's a Dr. Pepper behind it. No, I'm just kidding.
I feel like you're just lighting candles, putting rose petals on the bed. You tell your wife, don't come into the bedroom for a little while.
No, but you know how some people think about the one that got away, Like, when it comes to previous partners, I don't think about that. I just think about, man, Dr. Pepper got away.
See, this is how I viewed it, because I've talked about, you and I have both talked about, we've been healthier lately, lost our own fair share of significant weight, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to think that we do this so that way we don't have those moments of regret, like, damn, I should have drank that, or damn, I should have ate that, because now we have more incentive to eat and or drink that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're healthy for those moments when we don't need to be healthy.
Yeah.
Can I get an amen in the chat? Can I get an amen in the chat? Like, it's like,
that's like what Bert Kreischer said, just to interrupt you for a second. Bert Kreischer is like, I worked out so I can drink. He's like,
yes,
I just want to stay healthy enough to where I can keep drinking. That's all.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's basically us, just with Dr. Pepper, not with copious amounts of vodka.
That's exactly like, I remember it was probably like a week or two ago. I went to a place called Joe's Barbecue here in KC. Staple. Went there. I'd been eating healthy. Me and a buddy went. I roll up in there and I'm like, I'm a fucking hog out on this motherfucker. I ended up getting a fucking burger with like a brisket burger. I ended up getting, let's see, brisket burger, baked beans, mac and cheese, fries, and what was it? There's a special dessert they made. It's very spongy, like a moist spongy cake. Almost like, I think it's like tres leches is what it's called. I think it's. Is that what the?
Yeah. It's like a spongy, kind of doused in milk.
Yeah, similar to that. Similar to that, yeah.
Yeah.
But like when I was eating, I'm like, I don't feel bad about eating this because I've eaten healthy all week, and I know I'm going to eat healthy all the following week. So let me just go ahead and have this one meal. Now I will say this: when you've eaten healthy for a while, and you go to eat that one bad thing, your body don't like it.
Well, so it's like it likes it because it's the best thing you've ever tasted. Like, it really makes you appreciate how good the bad things are. But then it also really makes you realize how bad the bad things are. I mean, that was like, not too long ago, we were lazy and got fast food, which we hadn't really had in a long time. And every time we do, we regret it immediately. Like, it doesn't sit on the stomach well. The aftermath in the bathroom afterwards is never good. So like, it's not good, but it doesn't good for a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't say, well, I liken it to if you ate a handful of gravel, like with the way it hits your stomach heavy. It's just, like, it just feels like rocks in your stomach. That's why, like, I stay away from McDonald's, Taco Bell, all that. Like, if I'm going to eat out, if I'm going to break my diet to eat out, or eating Chipotle, we're eating Jersey Mike's, we're eating a barbecue place. Like, I'm not going fast food. I'm going food. Like, because fast food, like, I think it's just because of the ultra processed, but like, your body gets so used to eating all natural that all of a sudden you put in something ultra processed. It's like, this isn't right.
Yeah.
Why'd you eat a Hasbro toy?
Man, that's styrofoam. What are you doing?
It's sad. I'm not even elevated right now, and I have severe cotton mouth. I don't understand why.
It's just that time of year. It's dry.
Probably.
I mean, I find myself drinking more water when it's colder out.
Yeah.
Because, like, it might, like, I open my mouth and just all the moisture evaporates just immediately.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But funny enough, everything we talked about so far, as y'all know, nothing to do with what today's topic is. Damn near a
10-minute tangent.
Yeah, it was, honestly. Yeah. No, so we were sitting down, as y'all have heard us talk about before. We were just sitting here kind of for a moment, like, what are we going to talk about? And I had an idea, and I think this would be super helpful just from the perspective of someone, we've kind of touched on this before a little bit, but I don't think we've actually devoted much of an episode to this. And I think that for a lot of individuals out there who are trying to dive headfirst into this, there's some things you should definitely recognize, and that is for your first-time home buyers. I think this is, I was telling Sam, just for some shit that I've had to go through with the house that I currently own. It's important to recognize as a first-time home buyer things that you wouldn't think about from the get-go. Period.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to talk about today. And I know Sam, you had made mention too, like wasn't really anything you could really add into, but of course, as y'all know, Sam is really great at listening and then offering very quality questions. So I'm going to try to answer those questions as we go through. But yeah, no, so good things. I think I might've mentioned it briefly, but very expensive upgrades to my house, yet very needed upgrades to my house.
Very needed.
Yeah. So replaced my AC unit and my furnace because we have natural gas heat here. Solar panels installed as of today. Well, halfway installed. The brackets are up. The panels go up tomorrow. And what else was it? There's something else.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button while you're here and join the Lousy listeners. And also, click the join button. For $2.99 a month, you can become a Lousy member where you can get some awesome perks, cool emotes, and interact with Sam and I. Also, click the link to join our Discord and have fun with all the other Lousy listeners. Let's get back to the video.
I'm missing something. Anyway, those are the big things.
I was just saying, like, you lumped the AC and the furnace in kind of together.
Oh yeah,
I felt like that felt like two separate things because the AC was first. Because
Yeah.
that quit on you, and then they hooked that up, and then later on found out some other things. So
Well, yeah, and I think so. This is a great part to start on. For the first-time home buyers out there, when you talk to your realtor might come up with the idea of getting you a home warranty. Okay. Now, if in the closing agreements, the current owner is able to put up enough cash, or you're able to put up enough cash, it's not going to hurt you to get a warranty, do your research on the warranty company. Because I have, to this day, come to my own understanding that warranty companies are good at doing one thing, and that's absolutely jack shit.
no, they're good at saying no.
Yes, I'll break this down for y'all. So, of course, everybody knows when Sam and I, left the studio and we went into our own separate voids of the Americas. Ever since then, which was roughly back in May for me, this house has been a home, but one that I have had to basically build from the ground up. Besides all the work that we had to put in when we, closed on the house back in April, to just the inconveniences and major, malfunctions, after moving in. The main concerns here, number one, first and foremost, was that AC unit, because during the summertime it got really fucking hot. And here the energy company is none too forgiving. I will just say that now. They're not. They don't give a fuck. They charge astronomical prices for energy. It's nuts. I don't know how. It blows my mind. But the thing that sucked the most was the fact that, bear in mind, it was really fucking hot during the summertime, and I was using an AC unit that was roughly about 30 years old.
It's basically brand new.
Right.
According to the warranty company.
Yeah, according to them. And after a lot of rounds of back and forth of them sending people out to fix it, change the coil out, which I found out later on never got changed. Just a lot of bullshit back and forth. The warranty company finally bought me a brand new AC unit in December.
Hey, if you're in Australia, you're good.
Yeah.
But not so much
So-
in KCMO.
No. So as I'm sure as all you can speculate, I was not too happy about that. But hey, new unit, cool. They send the company out to get it installed. All is hunky dory. Every company that came out here per the warranty's ticket told the warranty company you need to change out the furnace too. They all stated that the furnace was 38 years old. Almost
Basically brand new.
not 2 decades, almost 4 decades old. The recommended time to update your furnace is 20 years. So I am almost double the lifespan recommended to swap. And the warranty company said to me, and I quote, if we replaced every unit just because it was old, we would never make money. Now, you can believe me for what you want. Look, I'm here. I speak alongside this gentleman right here. If this is our podcast, we have our opinions. I can provide you exactly what was told to me. It's up to you to discern how you want to believe it or not. But that's what was said to me. So after that, of course, I went a different route. Found a company who does full HVAC and plumbing in the area. Great company. Employed them to come over and they fixed they actually replaced my furnace in a day and got my house feeling fantastic. Here's the kicker. Remember how I just said they installed my AC unit? Well, the rep who came over walked outside and did a walk around to see how the unit was working and found out, and I have pictures to prove this, that the unit was never actually hooked up. They took it out of the box, left the box over on the side of my house, mind you, sat it on pavers and left.
Nice.
Yeah. So the company who installed my furnace, for no extra charge, who understood exactly what the hell is going through, out of the kindness of their hearts, took over and said, we're going to get this squared away. They decided to go ahead and install it appropriately. Brand new lines, brand new hookups, the whole 9 yards, which is awesome. So I say all that to say this. If you plan on buying a house, the first thing I could tell you is do not get the fucking warranty. Like, just save your money. Save your money, dump it into getting a warranty through a direct HVAC and plumbing company, because you will find so much more success in that path than you will in a warranty company for a house. They don't give a fuck about you. They just give a fuck about their money.
Yeah. And a lot of people, I think, would immediately jump to be like, well, the warranty paid for the AC, but you're paying for the warranty. Like it's just built into the mortgage typically. If my understanding of it is correct, at least, is like, it's not a separate bill usually, depending on who you're financing it through.
Correct.
Right?
Usually it's all lumped in. It's either lumped into your closing costs or it's lumped into your mortgage.
And so that's where people will think like, oh, well, like the warranty paid for it, but you're paying, it's not cheap for a warranty. It's a significant amount. So you can probably maybe not save money not getting the warranty, but at least probably spend the same and then have a lot less headaches.
Well, let me put it to you in this perspective too. Specifically from my position, not everybody would go through this, but this is something that I went through. So in the summertime, when May started heating up, I watched my power bill do this on the graph. And then June, July, and August happened, the hottest months of the year, and I watched the graph do this. And it wasn't until September where the graph started to tip down. This is all because the unit that I had at the time would just stay running 24/7. It didn't know how to cut off appropriately. It had it was old. It didn't have any of the boards in it to signal like, hey, you could shut off. Let's be a little eco-friendly right now. Like the house is naturally cooling off. We're good. So it was constantly running. The amount of money that I spent in energy bills over the summer alone would have more than covered how much the warranty cost was for 1 year.
Dang.
So yes, you would save a fuckload of money by not going with the warranty company and just going through an HVAC and plumbing company, because it's not just the warranty itself. It's the warranty, the headaches, the amount of money you're spending in exteriors to keep those appliances running, things like that. Like it starts to become this like evolved equation of what variables are being thrown in to see what that output is.
Yeah.
And the output severely outweighs what it would have been if I had just gone, no, let's take that money and put it in directly into this warranty over here with this HVAC company where their warranty is guaranteed, where they will come out and fix this on, for change. So something to think about there, because again, I say that to say, do your research on the warranty company. It's, I can't say all warranty companies are like that, but I can say the one that I work with is, and they came recommended. So
yeah,
you never know what's really going to happen on the forefront.
Yeah. Warranties are a tricky thing. I mean, warranties, insurance, kind of in the same realm there. It's like, I'm sure there are good companies. It's just like anything. I'm sure there are good and bad HVAC companies, like, so it's, really, I guess the biggest takeaway that I would say from that is do your research about whatever it is. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, well, we've talked about that before, is like doing your research is most of the battle as it is. You can't go into any situation not knowledgeable of that situation and expect to be successful.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you may have bullshitted your way through your history test in high school, but if you're not able to really do it in life most of the times, there's things that you do need to understand before you make a really bad decision. But also at the same time, like the first time homebuyer journey is a lot of learning.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when we were searching for houses, and there was a few that I had sent you that I was just like, what are your thoughts on this? Some of those houses, there's times when I go, I wish we had moved there. I love my house. I want you to know that first and foremost right now. I love my house. My house is awesome. Like I love that we have the amenities in the back that we do. I love that we have the space that we do and how it's laid out. I enjoy that. However, had I been a little bit more cautious, and even though I did, and Sam can attest to this, I did a massive amount of research on these houses before I bought them. Or before I started looking, I should say. I would not go with the fixer-upper. Not saying this was a total fixer-upper, but I would have been more diligent in knowing, okay, how old is the furnace? How old is the AC unit? How old are the floors? How old is the attic fan? How old is, the stove? When was the last time the gas lines were checked? Things like that. Like, it's these small things that you don't think about in your first time, situation. You'll definitely remember when you go get your second house.
Yeah.
If you decide to move and sell the one you're in and go to the next one, you're like, no, I'm checking off boxes. I got my sheet ready. Like, we're going to make sure this is good. There were some houses that we looked at that I definitely could say were more modernized, where we wouldn't immediately have to swap things. Probably not for, I'd say, about 10 to 15 years. Which is about the midway point for some situations. But like, I would have gone with that over this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Cause you don't want to incur all that costs within the first year of ownership, because it already costs enough buying the house and then moving and then, getting all your furniture and settled in and everything. Like, there's a lot of cost that gets associated with that. And then just have to go ahead and shell out even more. It's not fun.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll even admit at certain points, I was disheartened, because it's one thing after another. Like, as soon as we had the AC unit installed, and I am going to put air quotes on that, the furnace went out. Fucking 2 days after living in the house, the water heater broke. Like, it's things that you don't account for that suddenly start breaking, where you're like, fuck, now that's coming directly out of my pocket. How are we going to afford that? Okay, now I got to figure this part out. And I mean, like, at certain points I was like, I'm never buying a fucking house again. But after sitting down and letting cooler heads prevail, it made me realize, like, no, that's not the way to look at it, because especially in today's society, especially in today's America, having property is a substantial amount of equity in your name off the rip. Period. You know, that's something that is super unattainable on a lot of fronts for a lot of people. So being able to have it already is just equity in and of itself.
Yeah, it's a huge asset.
Yeah. And that's something I have to remind myself of often is even though I'm going through these tough situations, when I do inevitably go sell this house, the next person who comes in to buy it isn't going to have to worry about a new furnace. Isn't going to have to worry about a new AC unit. They're not going to have to worry about a new water heater or new doors or new windows, things like that.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to like, cool, these are what's coming with the house. It's very energy efficient. You're already set up for success. Have fun.
Yeah. Plus you get the journey of it all. Like you get the story. Like, yeah, it might have sucked, but like, you know, for me, it's kind of whenever I deal with tough situations, whether it's, you know, silly house things, like I've mentioned the AC debacle we had here, and that's renting, you know, so, but whenever it's those little things, like at least it was a story that I learned a lot from, and I'm not just saying that I heeded somebody's advice on something, you know, like learning the lesson can sometimes be more valuable than hearing the story. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
No, I agree. And I will say I agree and kind of disagree on a certain point. And I think the part I disagree on is it's good to learn, but this does still boil down to it's good to make sure you're doing your research and you're talking to people you know in the industry who can set you straight.
Yeah.
I admit my realtor is a fucking like he's a G. Like my realtor is a badass and he put in a lot of work in this house for me. It just so happens like after we moved in, all that shit happened with the furnace and the AC and the water heater and things. He even came to me. He was like, I was so hell bent on getting you a house. Like the house is in good shape. The house is in good working order. The issue that comes from that though is, you know, when they were doing the appraisal, when they were doing the other things, he was so busy trying to make sure they weren't screwing us over that he didn't think to go, oh shit, how old are those things? And it's unfortunate because, and this is the process you're going to go through when you're buying a house, is you have to trust that the owner of that house currently has your best interest in mind too. Newsflash, they probably don't.
Nope.
They are just simply trying to get the fuck out of that house. And that's exactly what happened here. You know, granted the gentleman who lived here didn't necessarily want to get out of the house, but when he was, you know, told to get the fuck out, oh, he did not leave this place in a good working order at all.
No. Well, I think you probably also suffered from some sabotage, you know?
Yeah. Like, yeah. Not everybody's going to go through that.
No.
That's still to this day. Yeah. That's still to this day. Like, I'm just like, how the fuck did you live like that, dude? But nonetheless, that's not today's topic. But I think another thing on your first time home buyer journey is, and this was one of the harder parts for me, is recognizing that shit's not gonna get fixed in a day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've admitted this time and time again. Sam knows this about me. I very much am I see problem, I fix problem now. Like that's just how I'm wired. Because to me, why would I let the problem roll over into tomorrow if I can fix it today? Like if I can just get that problem out of the way and it's no longer a problem, then we don't have to worry about it tomorrow. And with a lot of stuff that you do on your house, like a lot of stuff, you learn very quickly that projects never fucking end. They don't. And you can band-aid certain problems right now, but you may not be able to fix it right now. You know, there's a lot of projects I've had around the house, albeit I've finished them since, but at the start it's like, all right, I got to put a band-aid on this until I can get back to it, because I don't either, you know, I'm still recouping funds from the move. I'm still recouping funds from, you know, buying the house. I don't have the fucking time, you know, whatever it may be. But it's understanding like you got to be patient with your house. You know, this is as far as you're concerned, this is a living, breathing organism that's housing your family. Yeah, you got to be patient with the projects you want to do. Focus on ones that you can definitely attain. Like, for instance, I remember during the summertime, I so desperately wanted to finish the game room. This is when I was still working on it. couldn't do that because I didn't have some of the things I needed. So what did I do? I walked out to my fucking shed and I rearranged that bitch. Like I went out there because it was something that has been on my my bucket list. God, my house list to get done. And so I went out there and I remember like there were some hooks I found that sit like a little triangle with the hooks coming out, and it's like perfect angle for like a weed whacker.
Oh yeah.
And so I installed that on one of the supports, and like now I had that hanging up in there. I like went in and just installed some shelving in there so that way I could start putting stuff up and like actually have it off the ground. Being able to have those projects is super important because the bigger ones that you had to band-aid will be off of your mind for a little bit. Doesn't hurt as bad.
Yeah.
But you will have problems. Like you will have things that you have to fix. But I think that also ties back into what you said is like, that's part of the journey. It's like, you get to learn brand new things. You get to learn electrical, you get to learn plumbing, you get to learn, so many different aspects of your house that you could take with you to your next place.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, and I think it can be fun. So like, let's take your example of, like, oh, I couldn't do the game room, so I started doing something else. It can be fun taking what you have and making your own thing out of it. So like the shed, for example, or the game room, just sometimes it's not just going and buying the thing. Sometimes it's making the thing work best for you. Yep. And a lot of times be a lot more satisfying than just buying the thing,
Yep.
So I think it's a good life lesson for everybody to learn, regardless if you're buying a home or not. It's just something good to have is, take advantage of what you got and don't try to push too hard for what you don't.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree entirely. With the shed thing, like I said, installing the shelves, those were shelves that I took out of the garage that I had to take outside and spray down because they were just absolutely filthy. But as they were drying off, I'm like, I don't have any place to put them back in the game room. So I'm not hanging them up. Oh, wait. And I took them out to the shed, and sure enough, they fit perfectly. Like as soon, like originally when you walk into the shed, it was pretty much open to your right. And now there's a shelf there where I can like, hang, like put stuff up in there, like, seed for the grass or, salt for the pool or whatever it is, like things like that I could put up there that I can actually like do storage. And it felt fantastic. Cause like you take a step back and see how clean it is and how organized it is. Oh God.
Yeah.
Like, but it's being able to repurpose those things too. And I think I also, admittedly, I'm also the kind of person where I don't have to have the latest and greatest in like furniture and shit. I don't have to like that. Really, like the only things I not necessarily even latest and greatest, but the only things I really keep updated are like my computer and that's about it. Outside of that, like I don't mind going and shopping at Goodwill to get some shelves. I don't mind ripping the shelves off the walls in the garage and repurposing them to the shed. That doesn't hurt me at all. And it really opens up a lot of projects that you can do that you didn't think about the first time around. Like when you're sitting there, I didn't think at first about using those shelves, but I'm sitting there looking at the shed and I'm like, wait a second. Like, and then, all right, cool. Let's hang them up. Done. And then suddenly you've got storage. Like it definitely makes a lot more sense for anybody who is especially a lot like me, where you gotta be like working through those goals. Like it's not that you are forcefully pushing yourself through things just to forget the negatives, but you have those goals and aspirations where you're like, I want to do this. I want to be productive. It's a great way to be productive.
Yep, definitely. What would you say is, out of all the things you've done to the house, since you got it, what's your favorite thing so far?
Be more specific. What do you mean?
Just like the projects you've done, whether it be painting something, repurposing the shelves, building something, like anything that you've done to that house so far, which is a lot.
It is a lot.
Yep.
I mean, the obvious answer would be in here. The obvious answer would be in here. However, I can't really say that because I haven't changed this since moving in.
It's usually a good sign, though, right? Like that you nailed it the first time.
Yeah, I think this is the ideal format of my office. I would truthfully say, I mean, and all in all, I would say the game room. Like The last piece of that room is the garage door. I've got to replace the garage door, but that's money. You know, the door works for what it is right now. I have foam seal around it so that way it doesn't get too terribly cold in there. But yeah, no, I would say the game room would be the best. Now I will say this, all things considered, this year and or next year, my goal is to, and I know a lot of my friends have been like, why would you do that, dude? I actually plan on ripping down, because I have a pool in my backyard and I have this big fire pit at the edge of it, like a big like chimney, like, you know, brick oven style chimney.
Yeah.
I actually plan on ripping that down and installing a pergola out there.
That would be cool.
With like seating next to the pool. So it's more of like a seating area and not like this weird, aggressively wide fire pit sitting area next to the pool, where we can actually have places to go sit by the pool and enjoy the open air and open atmosphere. Like actually have some sunlight, that kind of thing. Like I really want to do that. And I'm looking forward to that. And then actually there is one other thing I want to do, and I've actually been pricing it out, and some things I've already been working on is converting the basement into a music room.
Yep. That'd be cool.
Yep. I've already been looking at, so I found some cheap acoustic panels that like look really good, like the wooden acoustic style with the black insert like style.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some of those for the walls down there, and I'm just gonna turn the main room into like a music room, so that way I can have a little spot to go noodle around and kind of get myself away from the desk for a little bit. But I mean, those are just some projects I have on the mind. But I would say my favorite project so far for sure would be, you know, the garage, so the game room / my barber shop, because it's already had a lot of memories in there, which is really cool, and it's paid dividends for the experiences I've gotten to have out of that room.
Hell yeah.
Which I'm so mad at myself. I was actually thinking about this the other day. I never took a before and after photo.
Yeah.
I wish I had, because that before, oh my God, that garage was rough.
Yeah.
And just knowing how far it's come from that, dude. Whew.
That's because the photos that existed online of it weren't super accurate of it, right? Like the condition that you received the house was a little worse than the photos.
Yeah, no, the house itself was definitely not, or the garage, as I say, was not in the shape that it was in the pictures.
Got it.
It was far worse. And that was mainly because like you could definitely tell that the garage was used as their catch-all room, and not in a good way. It was extremely dusty. Like the dust was super thick. It almost this dust felt like sawdust, but it wasn't wood.
That's
how thick it was.
That's really gross.
And I mean, that's why I had to take the shelves outside and spray them off with a hose, because I was not going to take the time to sit there and like wipe them off, you know?
Yeah.
But no, like that's truly like what it was. It was like it was beyond belief disgusting, but that's why I think what made it so much more satisfying to get it done.
Yeah. Bigger
because oh yeah, because I mean, like we had to hang drywall on the unfinished wall. We had to do all the mudding. We had to we had to rip all the shelves down, repurpose some of the shelves for my barbershop. Had to paint the floor, because the floor was this dingy fucking like it was like a odd mucus green with like concrete patches showing through, and then the occasional like random black or gray like spray paint spots where they just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And so like painting all that was definitely needed. Ripping out the old garage door motor, because that chain almost killed us. Let's see. Oh yeah, ripping down the lighting in there, because that was actually something. It used to be fluorescent lights, and it was 3 ballasts of fluorescent lights. And the one right above where my barbershop chair sits, we took that out, and we actually ended up swapping out the chandelier in the dining room for one that's a chandelier with a fan built inside of it, so it has like air coming. Yeah, which is great investment, by the way. Highly recommend. We took the chandelier we had, which is this little like 3 light chandelier that sits above my chair now, so it adds a lot of ambiance. It's really cool. And then the other two on the other side, we found out they installed the one where it's supposed to be. They daisy chained with a loose wire underneath the AC and heat vent up into the other one with no proper covers. Like I said, exposed wires. Like it was just a nightmare. And so we ended up taking those out, and we went and got one of those like $50 like plate lights, like the really thin ones that sit flat to the ceiling.
Yeah.
And ended up installing that out there, and it works phenomenally. Like
Nice.
it's great.
Hell yeah.
So I mean, like all in all, I think that's like I said, that's the one room I've been most excited about. But with the projects I have set up for this next year, I'm really excited to get outside and like. We've said this before, and I will say this very, very much again, is we now both live in places where we can actually actively be outside without feeling like we're going to die.
Yep.
And that's something I'm really excited about here, is being able to get out and do those projects, because like I have a whole bar already outside. I just need a place for us to be able to chill, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Makes sense.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to more things with the house for sure. But I mean, I will say, like I said, just word to the wise, if you're planning on home buying, like buying an old house is fine. Buying an old house, there's nothing wrong with it. Adds a lot of, I mean, it really tests your mentality to be, your interior designer, but understand you are going to be getting into a lot of headaches with any kind of appliance work you got to get done.
Yeah.
Any of it. So just take that for what it's worth.
Good advice.
I try. But any other questions for me, sir?
I think that's it.
That's fair. Let us know what you think in the comments. I'm curious to see what questions you have. But feel free to ask. I'd love to have a conversation with y'all in there about this. So feel free to ask me any questions you have on your home buying journey, or let us know if you have any nightmares on your own home buying journey. If you currently own a home and you had to go through some similar shit, let us know in the comments. Subscribe, like the video. We'll see you on Thursday.
Bye.
Later.